What's going on, Gin Pros family? Thank you for joining us today on a Wednesday. I'm John J. II. I'm with my co-host slash assistant slash what am I going to call you, Tony?
I'm a Swiss.
What do you want to be called?
I'm a Swiss Army knife. Call me the Swiss Army knife.
He's the Swiss Army knife of Gin Pros, the beeper man himself. Tony, how you feeling today, man? A little chilly out there. How you feeling?
Listen. We always start the live streams, podcast, whatever, with a little bit of a weather update. Okay, Michigan, what the hell are you doing? Okay, we just had 70-degree weather the last few weekends. Now you throw this shit at us. I hear it's going to be snowing tomorrow. I mean, guys, Michigan, relax, calm down, okay, and let's start getting into this summer weather. Sundress season, as some people like to call it. But yeah, I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Great lineup for you guys today in the live stream. Let's just dive right into it.
Let's get right into it. Just to touch on the weather for a quick second, the weather will kind of mess with me a little bit. It's going to get, nice. We see like a couple 70, 80-degree days. Next thing you know, it's down to, low 40s, high 30s. And then I got snowflakes coming down from the sky, and it's just like,
what's going on?
What are we doing? What's going on here? So that's Michigan weather for you. Let's dive right into our first topic. Let's talk about the NFL draft is closely approaching us. April 29th, I was talking before the stream. That's Mama Bink's birthday, so I'm not going to forget that. Don't worry, Mama Bink. I think you're watching this, so I'm not going to forget. Trust me. So let's focus on the draft. Who are some, notable players? I know we got Mel Kiper's mock draft here pulled up. But before I do that, what are some of your big picks that you expect to be made come the 29th?
So obviously this is a huge quarterback draft. A lot of teams that need quarterbacks, that have needed quarterbacks, this is the draft to do so. Okay, so teams that kind of come to mind, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Broncos. I don't think Denver's sold on this Drew Lock experience yet. The Patriots have been talked about trading up. The Niners, the 49ers have been talked about, trading and picking a quarterback up. So this is a quarterback-ridden draft, okay? So I think that's the big topic. The guy that I think is a unanimous no-brainer first overall pick. And listen, I'm tired of people even trying to make it a competition at somebody else could go number one. It's Trevor Lawrence. Take Trevor Lawrence number one, and your team's going to win Super Bowls in the future. It's a no-brainer. Now, we don't say there's no such thing as a mortal lock. There's just no such thing, okay? But that's about as close as a mortal lock as there's going to be that there could possibly be. So Trevor Lawrence is the guy that I'm looking at. And here's another one that I'm interested in, okay? The Zach Wilson kid out of BYU, okay? A little bit undersized, has an absolute piss rocket for a right arm, okay? A lot of people have him going third to the 49ers. I think that's going to be a really interesting pick to see where that – and not where he lands, but how he produces after he's picked, because there is a lot of pressure going third overall in the draft.
That's true. I guess with saying that, we'll bring up Mel Kiper's mock draft and kind of talk about it from there. So obviously, number one, Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer's got his eyes on Trevor Lawrence for, good reason. So that's kind of a no-brainer. That goes without saying. Something that surprised me a little bit about Mel Kiper's mock draft is he has Justin Fields going ninth to the Broncos. I thought he would go second, ahead of Zach Wilson, or definitely ahead of Mac Jones, maybe either to the Jets or the Niners. But, Mac Jones is up there too, quarterback from Alabama. Obviously, they got the Natty this year, so they're feeling good. I guess why would Mac Jones, or no, let me ask you this. Why would Zach Wilson go ahead of Justin Fields?
So when it comes to Zach Wilson, it's really all about the things you can't coach, okay? He's super athletic. I don't know if he's as athletic as Fields. Fields ran a 4.4, or he might. I think he ran a 4.4 at his pro day. But Zach Wilson, there's something about him that GMs like, okay? Now, when it comes to Justin Fields, one thing I love about the kid is he's absolutely tougher than nails, okay? We watched him in the semifinal game just getting absolutely rocked and still getting up and performing. Now, when it comes to Mac Jones, okay, now, Bink, I'm going to give you a little bit of an analogy, okay? When it comes to Mac Jones, he has what I call the bar effect, okay? He has the bar effect on him right now. And what I mean by that is this. When you go to a bar, okay, you're with your boys, you're drinking, gin and tonics, okay? You're drinking vodka sodas, vodka cran, whatever you're drinking, okay? And you get 3, 4, 5 in you, okay? That's what's called the bar effect. All of a sudden, everybody starts to look like Halle Berry. Everybody starts to look like Jennifer Aniston. And that's what Mac Jones has going for him. He just won a national championship. He's a Heisman finalist. He had the best offensive line in college football, the best wide receiver core in all of college football, the best running back in college football. So he's going to look good. So in return, GMs are 4, 5, 6 cranberry vodkas deep, and they have the bar effect, okay? So that's why Mac Jones is so high up on. Now, do I think Mac Jones could be a good quarterback in the NFL? Yes, but I'm not taking him in the top 5. He's a late first, early second round draft pick to me at best, not top 5. I mean, what are you doing? It's the bar effect.
The bar effect. I like that. Yeah. So you talk about Justin Fields, beating essentially the number 1 draft pick, Trevor Lawrence in Clemson.
Yeah.
In the semifinals, so there's a lot of promise there. And I guess let me pose this question while I have time. What do you look for if you're a recruiter, if you're someone that's in charge of drafting individuals from the college level to the professional level? What are you looking for in a quarterback? So what traits are you looking for when you see them play college games, high intensity, high stakes games, but how do you see them, transferring those traits into the professional level? Because there's a big skills gap there.
Difference. And that's a great question. Now, if you look, and this is what I would try to mold my guy around. Okay. If you look at today's NFL, you have defensive ends, D tackles, linebackers. I mean, you have a front 7 of an NFL defense that can flat out get after you, right? I mean, they can send the absolute house and get after you. So you need a quarterback where if the play is breaking down, okay, if the first read's not there, second read's not there, and the pocket begins to collapse, you need a guy that can get out of the pocket and make a play, right? You need a guy who has good instincts within the pocket. So you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's really good. He's got a piss rocket for a right arm, but he can also create plays on his feet, right? You look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, already won an MVP award, not the best arm in the world. I'd put him, an average NFL arm, but gosh darn, the guy can make plays with his feet, right? And when your quarterback's that dynamic, it's scary. The days of the Tom Brady's, the days of the Drew Brees, the Phillip Rivers, the guys that are just going to sit back there and have all day to throw, those days are unfortunately slowly leaving the NFL. So that's why, to me, a guy like Mac Jones isn't worth a first, a top 5 pick, because mobility is an issue. Mobility is an issue with him. So to me, I want a guy who, when the play breaks down, he's going to be able to still, make something of it.
Right. That makes sense. Comment from Joey Flames. Good point about Mac Jones. What if he goes to a shit team and doesn't have all the perfect pieces around him with poor coaching? Can he be a leader? I've seen him be a leader in the past. So, I'm not going to count him out from being a leader, of the offense.
Right. So I don't think leadership is quite an issue when it comes to Mac Jones. I mean, look, the guy stayed within a program for 4 years without knowing if he was ever going to play. So I think leadership isn't going to be an issue with him. But Flames brings up a good point. Listen, man, he was on the best college football team that we may have ever seen in a very long time. So if he goes to an NFL team who is, because if he goes top 5, the team's not good, right? The team's not good if he goes top 5. So if he does go top 5, is he going to be able to, elevate them to anything better than what they are at that point? To me, what Mac Jones looks like is another Drew Lock. Okay, a guy that was taken, and Drew Lock wasn't even taken in the first round. Drew Lock was taken later. But a guy like Mac Jones, he's going to have a good arm. He would be a good backup quarterback in the NFL. I just don't know if he's the guy you want to burn a top 5 pick on and cross your fingers. Oh, he might be the next Brady. Listen, we're never going to see another Tom Brady. So don't even start that comparison.
Yeah, that's not worthy of a conversation. So, yeah, I agree. I think you have to definitely be a leader. Mac Jones is a quarterback that was obviously trusted by Nick Saban with Alabama and the Crimson Tide. So there's got to be some props given there. I think having Mac Jones go top 5 is definitely, a viable option. But, you also have to have that capability to revive a team that maybe went 4-12 or maybe went 2-14. Right. That takes a different set of skills. That is not easy.
I mean, look, okay, so let's just kind of put it into context. Don't sleep on Rocky Lombardi. Take Rocky first round, baby. Take him first round. So, put it into context. Look at a guy like Joey Burrow, okay? In 2019, he looked like 2020, he looked like the greatest quarterback college football has ever seen. I mean, he was lighting SEC defenses up, for 50 points. I mean, he was breaking records not only in the SEC but in college football. Look at a guy like that. Okay, he goes to Cincinnati. Now I know he had a bad injury. Everyone's going, hey, he got hurt. I know he got hurt. I watch more football than anyone watching this does. I know he got hurt. Okay, but even if he stayed healthy, that team wasn't winning more than 5-6 games. Okay, they just were not. So it takes a lot for a team to all of a sudden go from winning 2, 3, 4 games to 5, 6, 7. And I just don't know if Mac Jones has it in him to do that. I don't even know if Zach Wilson has it in him to do that, to be honest with you. To me, it goes Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and then everybody else. And to me, I think there is a large separation between the first 2 and everybody else. I'm not even sold on this Trey Lance kid. This Trey Lance kid out of North Dakota State that everyone's talking about. Everyone's chirping, saying that this kid's going to be the next this and next that. I'm not even sold on that kid because look what happened to the last guy that came out of North Dakota State. Carson Wentz can't stay healthy to save his life. And when he does, he throws the ball to the other team more than he throws the ball to his team. So, to me, the draft gets overanalyzed so much when you just look at the tape, look at the film, and who looks good to you. To me, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and then the rest of the quarterbacks. And it's not even close.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a lot of it is going to come down to who's going to be able to prove themselves when the time, when the going gets tough. It's not going to be, it's not going to be many people. We might get surprised, by someone that goes, I don't know, 10th, 15th, 20th overall. And I guess if we do have to bring Tom Brady into the equation, we can bring in the Tom Brady effect, which, that can be seen in the first season. It doesn't really come to light, until the second, third, fourth, fifth season of a quarterback's career in the NFL. But, there's certain things that we really can't see right now that stat sheets are not going to tell us.
Right.
So we're going to have to look for those things and see how they, cooperate, see how they evolve, see how they react to different situations at the next level, because that's going to be very determinant on where they end up and how they perform and how many wins they get.
For sure. I mean, look, if you take a guy, what was his name, John? He was out of Ohio State. He won the national championship in 2015. The hell was his name?
Wasn't Terrell Pryor, was it?
No, it was way after Pryor.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? I just blanked on it. I just blanked on his name. That's going to bug the hell out of me. Anyways, whatever that – if you guys remember his name, because I can't remember off the top of my head, drop in the comments. Anyways, that guy – I'm just going to call him that guy, okay? His intangibles were off the chart. Absolutely.
Cardale Jones.
Yes, Cardale Jones. Take a look at that guy. His intangibles were off the chart. He could throw a football, a quarter mile. He's big, strong, this and that. Okay, but when it comes to playing quarterback in the NFL, not Braxton Miller, Tom. Close, super close. But when it comes to playing quarterback in the NFL, you have to be the hardest worker, not only on the field, in the weight room, but also in the film room. Okay, so that wasn't well. I don't think JT. I think he was already was JT already graduated?
Don't ask me about Ohio State football because I had to Google Cardale Jones.
I can't remember if JT
I'll be honest with you. I don't keep Ohio State football in my memory bank at all.
Even in the radar.
So I gotta Google that.
Listen, I mean, in athleticism and all that stuff is great. It's grand, phenomenal. You got it. But there's so much more that goes into it. Flames is saying he left in 17. So Barrett was on the team, but Cardale Jones was the guy that won it for him. So anyways, there's a lot that goes into it, man. But I want to do this really quick. I want to shift gears off of the quarterbacks, and I want to take a look at what this mock draft has everyone's beloved Detroit Lions taking.
Okay, so I'll
in the first round. Devontae Smith. Now, okay. Now I can actually somewhat get behind that pick. Okay, I can somewhat get behind this pick. Okay, obviously he's the Heisman winner. Listen, Jared Goff needs someone to throw the football to, right? He needs somebody to throw the pigskin to. Jared Goff can't throw it to himself and catch it at the same time. It's just not going to happen. So he needs someone to throw the ball to. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you like that Devontae Smith pick at number 7? Do you like them? Okay, I was just going to ask you that first. Do you like that pick at 7?
Yeah, I like it. I think you need ever since losing Megatron, I mean, you left a lot of open space at the wide receiver position in Detroit. We've always liked, I mean, when we had, I said we, they, when they like to take the ball into the air and utilize the air game, they really liked, they liked who was it? It wasn't Willie Snead, was it? He didn't play for Detroit. I'm thinking of,
there was Nate Burleson, Anquan Bolden.
And then you had Anquan Bolden. That might be who I'm thinking of. Yeah, and then you got obviously Megatron. You got people like Golden Tate.
Yeah.
So they like to utilize their the air game. They like to attack in the air. So I think if you can get a receiver like Devontae Smith, Heisman winner, I think that you definitely utilize him. He's a class act guy, little bit skinny for my liking, but
I mean,
listen, he can get the job done. He's very tough. He can take a hit. He can deliver a hit, and I think it's a great pick.
So now listen. This is Beep's advice. This is the Beep advice. Okay, if the Detroit Lions do not trade back, okay, and garner and get more draft picks. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say whoever's sitting at number 14 decides to trade up to the 7th spot. Detroit gets number 14, and then whatever else is thrown in the pot. If Detroit doesn't do that, okay, the entire organization should just be burned to the ground. Okay, to me, you need bodies, you need people, and whoever you can get at 7, I can almost guarantee you can get somebody equally as good, maybe a little bit, maybe not Devontae Smith good, okay, but you can still get a stud receiver at 14, okay? You still can. This is also a deep offense class, which we haven't seen in a while, okay? So if you're the Lions and you do not trade back from 7, you're an idiot. Okay, whatever this new coach's name is, I can't even think of it because I don't like the guy enough already. He's biting kneecaps off, and he's talking to foreign employees, talking about the first time he stepped foot at Ford Field, no 6. It doesn't matter. Listen. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. If you don't trade back from 7, okay, the entire organization should be burned to the absolute ground, okay? You got to get more picks, Detroit. You got to get more. You got to load up the roster. There's going to be a ton of talent in rounds 2 and 3 as well. Take advantage of you being at 7, okay? Trade back and get more picks. That's my advice.
So you're saying they trade Devontae Smith back?
No.
Or do you say they trade other people back?
They trade the pick. So they would trade pick number 7 for – okay, so who's picking at number 14? Who's picking at 14?
Minnesota.
Okay, so Minnesota would now get pick number 7. Detroit would get pick 14, and Minnesota would throw Detroit a few other picks in like the 2nd or 3rd round. That's what I think Detroit should do.
Okay, not a bad call. Now, let me address something real quick that I think kind of went under the radar for quite a few viewers here. Are you saying you don't like this Campbell guy in there at the helm?
I think it's too much smoke and mirrors right now. I think it's too much. Listen, it's like 4th of July fireworks, okay? And right now, everyone's enjoying the fireworks show. Everyone's, the fireworks, this and that. Blah, 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 blah. And then the fireworks show is going to be over in October when they've lost 6 games in a row. Now, do I think he's the right guy? Listen, I don't mind the hire. I just don't think again, Detroit fans are so delusional that once this guy gets in there, they're going to expect to win the damn division. And it's just not going to happen. So I think he's a good hire, but it's going to take him some time. Okay, listen, Stevie, you know I'm a Spartan guy, okay? Michigan, that scumbag school down in Ann Arbor. But anyways, yeah, I think I don't mind the hire for Dan Campbell. I couldn't remember his name. But these Lion fans, and you know this better than anyone, John, they're so delusional. They think him and a 7th round and the 7th overall pick, they're going to win the division. And it's just like, what are you doing?
So this is all I got to say about that. The fire that I see out of Dan Campbell is a breath of fresh air in Detroit. He's coming in there, chopping necks off, cutting people up in higher management, getting people to leave, getting Stafford to leave, which is a beautiful thing. I didn't see that with Caldwell. I didn't see that with Patricia, and I didn't see that with Jim Schwartz. So I like the fire. I think the fire is what the city of Detroit needs right now. And whether it's smoke and mirrors or not, I think is somewhat irrelevant to the point where Detroit and their entire football team is at right now. They have no more to lose than they've already lost. So they have everything to gain. I think you come out there swinging, come out there, guns a-blazing. It honestly can't hurt. Even if it doesn't build up to nothing, at least you have that hype going into the season. And then hopefully that can carry some of the weight for you. But still, you got to get the jobs done on Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whenever you're playing. So that's good. It's going to be very essential to have that fire transpire into the gameplay come Sunday.
But
there has to be a transition there.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, here's what's going to separate Campbell from everybody else, okay? Here's what's going to do it. Doesn't it seem like every year the Detroit fans create their own sense of hype within the team?
I think they tried to, and it hasn't worked yet.
Right. So what I think is going to separate him is if he can create it on his own within the organization. Not some nonsense hype that the dumbass idiot fans are creating, but create it within the organization. If he can do that, if he can get that 53-man roster to buy into what he's doing and what he wants to do, they win 7 games, 8 games. I mean, the roster's not good, and that's the issue. So I don't care if he comes in like Napoleon or like who led the Spartans? Who led the Spartans back?
Leonidas.
Yeah, I don't care if he's Leonidas. I don't care if the guy's Dwight D. Eisenhower. Okay, the roster's not good enough to translate into winning anything significant. So what he has to do is build a roster, and you do that by trading away the 7th overall pick and getting more picks, create depth, create opportunity. That's what I think they got to do.
Completely agree. Let's move on a little bit. Tony, I'll let you take this next topic. Seems a little close to home.
So really quick, we won't spend too much time on it. Today is my grandma and grandfather's 65th wedding anniversary. Obviously, that's a number that John and I can't even really wrap our heads around. It's a huge milestone, huge accomplishment. Obviously, those two play an absolute vital role in raising me and my upbringing and things like that. The greatest people you're ever going to meet, the nicest people you're ever going to meet. So I wanted to give them a happy anniversary. They went up to Frankenmuth today, did a little bit of shopping, grabbed some dinner, and they'll probably be in bed by the time this thing's even on. So Grandma might watch it tomorrow. But if you're watching right now, Grams, I love you. Tell Grandpa I love him. And happy 65th anniversary today, guys.
Happy anniversary to Doris and the Sturge from Gin Pros, from the utmost amount of sincerity from both of us. I think something else that's very important that I just learned today. So just today I had my grandma's funeral, beautiful service. I found out that if her and my grandpa were still married, this would have been their 70th anniversary today, same exact day.
Isn't it?
It's crazy. And also my mom, this is 15 years that she has been a American citizen, emigrating from Canada. So big day. April 14th is a huge monumental day.
Big day
in both my family and Tony. So
for sure,
we commend everybody for all those great accomplishments, and we're happy about it. Let's move on to Julian Edelman. So Tony, you had a gin and tonic.
I did.
That came out yesterday.
I did.
About Julian Edelman retiring, announcing the retirement. There's been some, talk of conspiracy theories that have been floating around.
Yep.
Can you speak more to that and what those where those might come from?
So how the whole timeline starts. Okay, he gets hurt last year and misses nearly the entire year. Okay, so he gets hurt, then he comes and he fails a physical. Okay, so he fails his physical with the Patriots this year, and then the Patriots release him. Okay, then he decides, okay, I'm hanging him up. Dunzo, retiring. Okay, now this is where all the conspiracy theories come. Everyone is saying that he was down at Tampa Bay with Tom Brady when he decided to make the announcement, when he actually decided in his head that he was going to do it. And they've talked similarly to when him and Gronkowski talked about when Gronkowski was retired. So there's a lot of things circulating around if he's actually going to stay retired, if he's not. Now, here's the difference. The difference between, Edelman, I think the Gronk situation is Edelman's 35. Okay, he's not a spring chicken. Okay, he's not prancing around, like Bambi was, in the Disney movie. Okay, he's getting up there in age. Now, do I think that there's a chance that he signs with Tampa Bay in the offseason and is in a Buccaneers jersey? Absolutely, I do. Okay, absolutely, I do. I think there's a lot of little coercion going on between Tom Brady and what I think this really goes to is Tom Brady sticking it to the Patriots. Okay, I think Tom Brady wants to stick it to New England as much as he can to Bill Belichick, as possible. And I think that's what's going on. So he does retire. Now, here's the question that I'm going to ask everybody here. I know my answer. My answer is a no-brainer, okay? But there seems to be some controversy around if Julian Edelman is, in fact, a Hall of Famer or not. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, 1-time Super Bowl MVP, second most in playoff receptions, okay? I think it was either most receptions or most touchdown passes from Tom Brady as a receiver. So, John, I'm going to ask you this. 1, do you think he comes back? And 2, is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he does come back. I think the conspiracy theorists are onto something. It's similar to very similar to a Gronk situation. You look at the chemistry, you look at the championships, you look at everything between Edelman and Tom Brady. Tom Brady is trying to build a dynasty, essentially rebuild the dynasty in a different state and different uniform. So I think that's very, impressive what he's been able to do, essentially in such a short amount of time, first of all. So I think there's some lucrative, there's some luster to that deal, possibly. If Tom Brady, he's in the position he's in, he's a Hall of Famer, living legend,
Right.
playing legend. He can pull all the strings he wants. If Edelman wants a spot in Tampa Bay, he's going to get one. So I think that it's definitely possible that he comes back. But if he comes back, the only team I see him landing at is in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
To your second question, I think he's automatically a Hall of Famer. You look at what he's been able to do. I speak onto, his championships. You look at the catches in different Super Bowls. You look at, what he's been able to do with his size. There's a lot of admirable traits there. And I think that he's earned it. He's done a lot more to earn himself a spot in the Hall of Fame, whereas different past players have found a spot in the Hall of Fame that have done much less.
Right.
So I think that he gets a spot.
So listen, I 1,000% agree with you. 2,000% agree with you. But what's nuts to me is I don't know if you can pull it up. I don't know if you can do your little magic, Gen 1 and pull this up. But Shady McCoy, LeSean McCoy, made a comment today, okay? And the comment essentially said this. His playoff and this blows my mind. His playoff performances essentially do not count because not everybody makes it to the playoffs. Whoa, the hell does that even mean? I mean, listen, the whole goal to play in the NFL, John, is to do what?
Win the Super Bowl.
Playoffs and win a Super Bowl. That's the entire goal. So you're going to fault a guy for being second career, only behind Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver to ever do it, in playoff catches. You're going to fault him because he made the playoffs? I mean, LeSean McCoy, that is the dumbest take that I have ever in my life heard. I mean, that's like you knocking Tom Brady. Well, you know what, John? If you took away his Super Bowls, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer. Not everybody gets to play in one. What? I mean, okay. Like, sweet. That's a super hot take. I mean, man, hey, that'll be on ESPN tomorrow morning. I mean, just the take itself is so bad, okay? It's so bad that I can't even wrap my head around it. To me, it's a no-brainer that Edelman is a Hall of Famer. Oh,
absolute.
Mr. Morgan, let's talk. I mean, John, do we even entertain this?
I just wanted to put it on the screen to see what you're going to say.
Okay. You want to talk Michigan football? Okay. I'll talk Michigan football. Okay, I'll talk Michigan football. You got J.J. McCarthy, a freshman who Michigan likes to post on their Instagram like this kid's going to be the real deal. Oh, he's throwing a fade route for a touchdown at spring ball. This. Okay, that's sweet. They're going to win 8 games. I mean, it's the same thing every single year with Michigan football. Jim Harbaugh is going to lose you guys more games than he's going to win you. His play calling is going to be atrocious late in games. He's going to be out-coached. And, I mean, that's just it. John, I don't even know what else to say. That's just the honest God truth.
I mean, the people wanted the truth. They got it. It might not be what they wanted to hear for some of them, but it's what they needed to hear. We're doing them a favor. We're teaching them not to bet with their hearts, but to bet with their heads.
Absolutely.
And you can't fault us for that. I got to admit, there's very little bias. I mean, don't let me speak for you, but I think there's very little bias in that analysis you just made. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Listen. Okay, you're absolutely right, because when Michigan basketball was good, what did I say? Michigan basketball is good. They're good. When Michigan football, if they were good, I would say they're good, but they're not going to be. Who's going to play quarterback for them? The freshman? You're going to throw a freshman out there? You're going to throw a true freshman to go play in the Big Ten? I mean, you can, but good luck. Good luck. Michigan State will win another game against you guys in Spartan Stadium this time. We'll do it in Spartan Stadium. I mean,
We'll
that's
see.
fine.
Let's see if Mr. Morgan has a rebuttal to that. I'll be very interested if he does. But I guess the ball's in his court.
I mean, I just don't know. Like, again, it goes back to expectation. And Michigan fans and Detroit Lions fans, unfortunately, are extremely similar. Like, what are your actual expectations for that team? And if they say anything more than winning 10 games and competing for a Big Ten title, they're delusional. I've said it before. They are a regional football program. That's it. That's it.
It is what it is. I mean, you got to take it at face value. I guess we'll see when the pads get put on and when the pigskin gets some air put in it. And listen, I guess I'll let the athletics, I'll let the Big Ten football, I'll let the whole conference and all the games that come this fall, because I know a lot of teams are practicing in spring training right now.
Right.
We'll let the games speak for themselves. I think that's all we need to say. Let's move on to our final topic. Let's talk about Gin Gaming. So Gin Gaming, we've reached a new agreement with a fellow streamer that was sent to us from a mutual friend. Very impressed with this guy, Team Yonan. His name's Jeremy. Check out his stream. We shared his stream earlier today. Something a little bit more lucrative. I guess it's more lucrative because it's more integrated into Facebook. So he streams on Facebook. So Facebook gaming is what they call it. It's kind of a new sector of Facebook. It's a new, it's a new project for Facebook that they've been doing. They've been finding a lot of success with a lot of good streamers. And a lot of streamers have, decided to stream solely for Facebook due to, how integrated it is and all the, the platform, everything like that. So I've been very impressed with it. And I like how it's easily, we're easily able to bring it into our Facebook page compared to Twitch, where it's on a third-party website. And we have to redirect people in our audience from Facebook to a third-party site, which might not be as easy. We're more apt to find an audience that is directly on Twitch to reach out to them personally. So Team Yonan, he is streaming for Gin Gaming currently. Not live right now, but he was live earlier. He streams almost on a daily basis. So show him some love, give him some props, and go check out his page. It's on our Gin Pros Facebook page. Check him out and let us know what you think about him. Very great guy, shows a lot of promise, and he's going to bring a brand new aesthetic to Gin Gaming and everything that it stands for. So
he is the only guy that I will admit, and I can't believe I'm even going to admit this, but I'm going to. Okay. He's got a better mustache than I do.
Wow.
I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, he's got the handlebars. He's got it all. I mean, that mustache screams, I am a middle relief pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, and I throw 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's what his mustache screams. Okay. Great guy, though. Super pumped to have him a part of the team. Team Gin. Really looking forward to see how what we can create with him. I think it's going to be a lot of great content, not only on the gaming side, but personality-wise. He brings a really unique and exciting personality to the streaming world. And to me, I'm excited to bring him because I think it's hitting a market that we're missing with Gin Gaming. And he's going to absolutely slap out of the park.
I agree 100%. Yeah. So look forward for his streams. We'll be posting about his streams prior or during the time that he's live on Facebook. So stay tuned for that. Have your notifications turned on for our Gin Pros Facebook posts. Stay up to date with all of the Gin picks, all the records. I know it's pretty tight right now. I'm standing at 173 and 115. Tony's at 157 and 107. So right there, neck and neck. I think I got you by a couple points, Tone. I'm sitting at a 150 KD. You're at a 147 KD.
Yeah.
So very similar. I mean, the thing is with that is it can swing. It can swing, as much as it wants to in a single day.
Right.
So I can go from 150 to 140 in one day's worth of picks.
Right.
It's harder to gain more, a higher KD, but it's definitely easier
to lose it
to lose points in that KD. So Very interesting stuff. I guess we'll wrap it up there, though, guys. Is there anything anything else you got, Tone, for the people? I got a couple of things.
Guys,
I'll let you go.
Remember, always moderations for cowards. Never bet with your head. Always bet, or never bet with your heart. Whoa.
Don't get that twisted.
Never bet with your heart. Always with your head. Life's too short to take the under. Take the over. And always, always, always bet with Jen.
So I wasn't going to say this, but we have 1 day before the deadline is reached for the Corona Challenge and the Beer Die Tournament. The Beer Die Tournament is this Saturday. After tomorrow at 11:59 p.m., we will lock in the teams for the Beer Die Tournament, and those teams are going to be the ones that are competing. If you have an odd number, then there'll be a team that gets granted a bye randomly, and if we have an even number, that's even better. The bracket will be generated tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to see how that bracket forms and to see how the regions form. Once we have semis, we're going to try to get that filmed from the semis on into the finals. If we don't get the semis filmed, we're going to get the finals filmed for sure. Make a video out of it. And then we're coming for Die's Life. We're coming for them. So they're basically the well-known beer die organization around the world. They put on tournaments on the West Coast and abroad, different other regions, different college towns. I don't think they've done one at Michigan State and East Lansing, though. I'll tell you that. So we're putting on a tournament that's unlike anything East Lansing has ever seen before. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot of updates coming up both Friday and Saturday. There might even be a presser on Friday. The Corona franchise of events has, hinted towards the possibility of that, but nothing is set in stone. So we'll keep you guys posted there. But if you haven't registered for the Corona Challenge, now is your time. This is your window.
This is it.
You're here. There's a lot of people that were notified about it today in my, extended family's circle. So there's going to be a lot of people signing up here soon. So get involved. And if you don't, you're risking the chance and the possibility of there not being a spot for you. So that's the last thing we want, is to turn anyone away that wants to be in the tournament. But listen, you've had ample opportunities to be a part of this tournament. So if you don't join by tonight or tomorrow night, it's on you, unfortunately. I don't like putting stuff on my viewers and on everybody else, but
we have to.
That's the reality of it. I got to keep you guys honest at some point.
Because they keep us honest, right? They keep us honest. So
they don't hesitate. They don't hesitate.
Right.
Good deal, guys. Well, hey, I'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for tuning in to the official Gin Pros live stream. I'm John J. II with the Beeper. Have a great